Okay, so thank you for joining me this evening, Nancy. Definitely feel that I can learn a lot from someone who has as much experience as you with regards to guppy breeding or fish breeding, and just the experiences that you've had over the many years that you've been actively in this hobby. So perhaps you can just give me a quick background on basically what got you started, and then I guess link that into more specifically what got you interested in guppy fish in general.
Hi everybody, my name is Nancy Eggleton and I live in Ilderton, Ontario, which is between London and Sarnia. And I started doing fish when I was 9, and we found out I had all these allergies to dogs and cats, which I ended up growing up with anyways. But my dad started me out with the proverbial 2 goldfish in the bowl on top of the TV that he got from Wolco. And after I killed them, I started killing a lot more fish, because that's what we do when we start out, unfortunately. And for years, I had African cichlids, and I've had all sorts of different fish. And my first club I was introduced to the London Aquarium Club, the London Aquarium Society, which is still running and is very healthy. And I'm involved with them. That's my mixed fish club. And then I guess about 15 years ago, I saw these beautiful black and yellow little fish. I was working on getting into smaller tanks because I am over 60. And it's getting harder to run the 80-gallon tanks and slug them around and stuff. So I was looking to do something smaller, and I saw these beautiful black and yellow fish, which I found out were half black yellow guppies. And I started looking up on the internet, where to find them. And a really good friend of mine from Michigan, his name is Gary Mousseau. I met him through fish, and I went to see him. He invited me to go to one of the American guppy shows, the IFGA shows, International Fancy Guppy Association. And he introduced me to all his friends, including a man named Stan Schubel, who you can look up on the internet. And anyways, I bought some of these fish. They were $65 a trio. That's 2 females and a male. And of course, I promptly killed them. And so I went back and I bought some more, killed them, bought some more, killed them. And after about a few $100s worth, I finally got the hang of it. Because I didn't really get, with these little fish, I just didn't get it. So now I get it. And it's pretty simple. The less you do with them, the better off they are. And I was just so taken with them. And then I went from the half black yellows to blues and purples and greens and full blacks and all sorts of them. And then there's the delta, which is the triangle tail. And then I got into the sword tails, and there's just a million different kinds. Anyways, I got more into it, and I started traveling to these shows in the States. And after a while, they finally let me do the testing to be a judge, and I became an American IFGA judge. And I did that for a while, and then, I don't know, I got invited to go to Europe, and I went to, with an association called the World Guppy Association, and I met a bunch of people in Europe. I went to Vienna, was the very first time, and my husband and my daughter went. We had a riot, and I judged this show, and I had so much fun, and I got introduced to guppies like crown tails. They look like bettas, like a crown-tail betta, only it's a guppy.
Right.
And in China, they're like a religion. The red crown-tail guppy, it is honestly like a religion. And I got looking at those and all these different types of fish, of guppies, and I was hooked. I was just hooked. So this has been from the time I met Gary Mousseau to this time had it been about 10 years.
Okay.
And I just got into it so much, and I started traveling, and then I met some other guys who were in the IKGH in Europe, that's International Coratorium on Guppy High Breeding. And I joined the organization, and that's where they have very specific rules. You can look it up on ikgh.org. Anyways, I became a judge with them and the World Association. And honestly, it started out where would a housewife get to travel all over the world. I've been judging fish all over the States, and then I left that organization to go into the IKGH. I've been to Shanghai, I've been to Italy, France, Germany, where else have I been? Belgium, England. I have lots of friends in the UK. Italy had the best food, but Belgium had the best time, and then Vienna had the best desserts. So
There you go.
learned a lot of stuff. And then I'm laying in bed one night, and I popped up in the middle of the night and said, I'm going to start a guppy club. And not thinking about ramifications, I called it the Trans-Canada Guppy Group. I was thinking across Canada.
Right.
Learned it meant a little more than that. So then I had to put filters on our Facebook page to make people understand it was about fish and not about lifestyle.
Right.
That was good for me. And we've been, our club, the Trans-Canada Guppy Group, the TCGG, we've been around about 6 years, I think. And we started with nothing. And recently we've had a couple shows. And recently, after COVID here, just a couple months ago at the International Center, we had a big IKGH organization show. That's the actual organization our fish club belongs to. And it was pretty big. We also are a member of KOAC. We are a registered KOAC club, and we follow most of their rules, but our shows are a little bit different. We have lighting requirements and things. And anyways, that's how I got started. And I just started sitting there listening to all these gentlemen, and believe me, it's 98% men. But there are now four, there's a French and 2 British female judges now besides myself.
Excellent.
So, and we're all friends. And I get to go all over the world, and it's a lot of fun, and I learn a lot of things, and I get exposure to a lot of different fish. And I've met some wonderful people, so it's a lot of fun.
Excellent.
So that's how I got started.
Very good. Now, with your international travels and then being based obviously out of Canada, do you notice with regards to the guppies, like differences with respects to the overall health or quality of guppies, or just the variety of the strains, or what have you noticed as far as like the Canadian supply as opposed to that in Europe?
Well, in North America, most of them are the delta, the triangle tail, or sword tails.
Okay.
As in a double sword. When you go to Europe, there are some fabulous styles. Round tails happen to be my favorites, but they have round tail, spade tail, coffer tail, flag tail, all different types, top and bottom swords. Best top swords I've ever seen in my life were a man named Michael Mild, who lives in Vienna, and of course I have some, and they are the very best. They're very serious, Europe, about, it's more about the quality, not about the size so much. In the United States, it's more about bigger is always better. Europe, it's more about the quality of the color, the intensity of the color, things like that. And they're beautiful, but they are smaller. And in Asia, it's all about, it's like a rodeo. It's anything new is exciting, and redfish in particular are very good. The differences are in Asia, you have to think about hot countries. They raise their fish fast and furious. They don't live as long because a lot of them are raised outdoors, and it's hot. Like places like Vietnam and China, and that a lot of them they're hot.
Mm-hmm.
And a much higher temperature than what ours are raised.
Yeah.
Europe, it's more about having 50 tanks of exactly the same fish.
Okay.
And out of those 50 tanks and thousands of fish, you may get 10 show fish. That's how picky they are.
Wow.
And also in Asia, a lot of people, because of the way, like for example, China, a lot of people, they don't have big homes like we do. They live in small apartments. So a bunch of guys will get together and rent a warehouse. And so after work at night, they will go there, a whole bunch of them. They'll have an entire warehouse and they do it. It's like a collective. So a bunch of guys will get together and breed the best fish, and then they sell them that way through a warehouse, or one person is the spokesman, and then they go and sell them. United States, there are some absolutely beautiful fish, and I have a lot of friends, but they are less likely to share with you.
Okay.
And in Asia, once they get to know you, they will share with you. But a lot of times, the quality that if you buy from a breeder online, it's not the same quality that you would get if you knew the guy.
Exactly. They're giving you what they would consider their B class or C class.
Their commercial class, yes.
Yeah.
And you look at their listings for sales, like when you get to know someone, like one of the head guys of the group, and they have two different price lists. One is for commercial, and one is show quality. And their show quality are phenomenal. And I can tell you that I've paid $250 for a pair of guppies.
Wow.
US.
Excellent.
Plus shipping. Because I'm crazy.
Right. And hope that the shipping works out.
And hope that, well, usually we know how to do it in our club. That's part of the fun of being in the club. Last year, I brought over a box from Taiwan, and they were tremendous, and it cost $1,700 to ship them here. And that's from airport to airport, and they were phenomenal. But you gotta know how to do it. Transhippers, there's one really good one, and he lives in Toronto, and his name is Hung Pham, and he's a good friend of mine, and he's a member of our club, and he also does bettas and some other things like stingrays and things, and he's tremendous. It's hard to find a good transshipper. And usually they're very busy. So, but and in Canada, the best way for us to share our fish is either coming to meetings here when I have a meeting, or when we have the big shows like the one we had at the Pet Expo.
Okay.
One of the rules for the IKGH, which is our organization, is the fish that you bring to the show become the property of the host club. And we auction those off, and we did auction every single show fish that was at our show. And that is something that's pretty popular.
Yeah.
That's like your catch.
Mm-hmm.
But with our club, we do things a little bit different. Is when you join our club, we try to encourage sharing.
Okay.
And I can tell you that we have a member of our club who came to Canada. He had fish in another country, and he came to Canada and got set up, and he contacted me, goes, I want to join the club. So, of course, myself and one of our vice presidents, whose name is Hayden, we decided we'd give him some fish to start him off with. Well, during COVID, he entered one of the German online shows.
Okay.
Well, he started out with the fish we had given him, and then he bred them and made them better. And then he kicked our butts, both of us. He did an online German show and won a Best in Show.
Excellent.
We thought, everybody goes, "What, you're mad?" I'm like, why? We just thought it was hilarious that he beat us.
Beat you with your own fish, more or less.
Yeah, well, we gave him the lines, and then he perfected them. They were his fish.
Yes.
And that's another thing about our club, is it's different from KOAC. You can, like the mixed clubs, like for example, Oktoberfish coming up this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
you can put purchased fish in the show. With ours, you cannot. They must be bred in your own home.
Oh, okay.
And because we kind of know everybody, it's easy to tell who's or who's. So,
no, exactly.
That's how we do it. It's a lot of fun, and we try to share. I keep at my house what we call the library of fish, where I keep the basics.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody can go, "Oh, you got this, and you got this," and we try to help them out. but yeah, that's how I started. Just being nosy and just working my way through, and it's not that easy to become a judge, especially in North America, but there are ways to do it.
No, and I'm sure, I mean, it's obviously for people who take, I guess, raising or breeding guppies very seriously. I mean, it's not something that you can be committed to on weekends only if you wanted to get to that level.
It, it's difficult. The way to put the size on your show guppies is live food,
Yes.
and that's brine shrimp and microworms and things, and that's hard to do if you're not there every day. But I know a lot of our members have full-time jobs. For example, the guy that beat us at that show, he works a lot of hours, and it can be done.
Oh no, definitely, definitely. I mean, it's a commitment that the breeders have to take. I mean, if you're getting into it at that level, you're committed to it, I guess, is the best way to do it.
And also, though, a lot of our members are strictly hobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do, we have a Facebook page, and we have a website for our hardcore people, but we also have a Facebook page. And we get people who are brand new, oh, I bought these fish for my kids and now they're dying. What do I do? And we try our best to help them. And they end up, the reason being we help them is so they end up keeping fish for their life, or their kids do. Like I've had fish for over 50 years, and you just got to have a little encouragement to start out with. And we also give them the inexpensive recipes like the great salt bath to help them look after their fish.
Right.
We give them a lot of advice, like you don't need to have them at 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 24 degrees Celsius. You don't need all that stuff.
No.
And the fancy stuff and all the drugs and stuff like that.
No, and I mean, again, it's for anyone in Canada. That's rules and regulations limit, I guess, what we can and can't do as far as quarantining or medicating the fish. Unfortunately, or fortunately, I guess there's both sides to that discussion. But yeah, it's definitely good. I mean, as you know, I am a member of the Canada Guppy group, and I've had a lot of great advice both from yourself and from other members on that site. And I mean, for someone who's starting out, I mean, I've been in the hobby on and off for over 30 years, but definitely for someone who's starting out, I mean, that the information that you can gain from that website would definitely be a good stepping stone for getting comfortable with the hobby. And for anyone of my viewers or subscribers, I definitely recommend it. It's the Canada Guppy group on Facebook, and like I said, there's definitely a lot of good people on there with years of experience that can be quite helpful.
Well, it's funny that you say that. Someone will make a comment and go, oh, I bought these fish and this happened. And then some guy that they don't know will come on and say, well, actually, this is what you do. And then one of us will pop on and go, oh, this is a great idea. And they don't realize the person they've been speaking to is a geneticist.
Right.
Or, like somebody who, one of our members, he's from Utah. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's American, and he is they use guppies to research cancer.
Okay.
And works in a lab. And, we also have authors of books. Brian Chin is he'll pop in on our page, and he's written several books about guppies. Stan Schubel, who was kind of the godfather of guppies in North America, he was a member of our club. He's since passed away, but he's been in this house sitting right where I am right now many times.
Okay.
And he was just a gem. And Gary Mousseau, who's a very good friend of mine from Michigan, he was a guest judge at our show just recently.
Yeah.
And he was thrilled. Great time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can meet a lot of people. And what I also like people to know, especially kids, We have doctors. I have someone who's a cardiologist. I have pharmacists, dentists, lawyers, housewives, business people. We have people from all walks of life. It's not just, you know, 20-year-old guys who go, well, I bought this latest refractometer and all this other, it's not all these guys that know all the big words. There's also little kids,
Mm-hmm.
you know, all different people and all different walks of life. And that's what's the most fun about it, is you get exposure to people you may never ever think that you would meet
No.
in life, living in our little worlds. It's kind of interesting. So I
No.
like it that way.
No, definitely. And it has definitely been a tool that I've used and have benefited from. And I've met and remained in contact with some people on just, non-fish related topics. And, there's definitely some amazing people that you can meet through that and make a connection. And that's always a good thing.
Yes. And then those other people who are just the weekend warriors, they look after their tanks the best they can and feed them their flake food and all that. And then all of a sudden they've got some free time and they become a hardcore crazy person like
Yeah.
that, and so it's just, they're fun. They're relaxing. We talk about this all the time. Tropical fish are great. Yes, they can be expensive, but they can also be inexpensive. If you go to the things like the Keowak auctions, you can pick up some pretty nice guppies,
Mm-hmm.
other fish, and you can start from there. You can spend a crazy amount of money and have one of those Fluval Flex, beautiful tanks with the special glass that's, for photographers, or you can have a 10-gallon aquarium with a bare bottom and a SpongeBob decoration in it, and it's just fine. The fish really don't care.
No.
It's the cares.
Exactly.
Go, oh my gosh, my light's broken. Well, so the only one that the fish don't care about the light, you just care about the light.
Yeah.
So, and it can be everywhere from a hang-on back filter, like on your tank there behind you, or it can be a sponge filter. You can make a filter out of a peanut butter jar. Like it doesn't have to be expensive.
No.
And, but yeah, I love my hobby. I know you do too. They're relaxing. It's fun. They don't bark.
No.
It's pretty good.
Very, very few people have allergies to just watching fish.
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having this opportunity to sit down with me. I definitely appreciate it, Nancy. And, we'll obviously definitely stay in touch, but it's always a pleasure to pick the brains of someone who has as much experience in this hobby as you do. Greatly appreciate it. And, look forward to doing it again, maybe at a later date. And hopefully next year when the Pet Expo comes around, I'll be jumping in my car and heading down with some show quality guppies.
Well, that's good because we have a show. It's the weekend of September 20th, 2024, and it will be a World Guppy Show, which means there will be breeders from all over here.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be pretty exciting, and it'll be big. So.
Yeah, definitely a step up from the one that we had this year. So
it was a starter.
Yep.
And it was a good experience. So now it's going to get bigger.
Yep, and bigger can be much better too. So look forward to that, and lots of work on my end if I want to get some show quality guppies.
Or you can come to the show, buy some show quality guppies, and then breed your own.
There we go. That's option B. All right, thank you.